What do people usually do with a worn-out wood drill bit? Most people throw it into a drawer, leave it covered in rust, or simply throw it away. But today, I'm going to try an idea that I bet 99% of DIY enthusiasts have never thought about before. I'm going to turn this old drill bit into a tool that can generate enough heat to melt solder and repair metal parts. And here is the best part. It costs me almost nothing because every single piece comes out of the scrap bin, including a dead battery most people would throw straight in the trash. And honestly, the results surprised me more than I expected. Let's get started. The first thing I need is a bolt. This old wood drill bit already has a hole through the center, which makes it perfect for mounting additional parts. I slide the bolt through the hole and use pliers to tighten it securely. Slow turns, a little more pressure, then one final check to make sure nothing moves. This bolt may look insignificant right now, but it will eventually become an important electrical connection point. Next, I prepare a short piece of electrical wire and a large alligator clip. Using wire strippers, I remove the insulation from both ends. One end of the wire gets wrapped tightly around the bolt. I twist the copper strands together and pull them snug against the metal. Then I use pliers to compress the connection even tighter. Good electrical contact is extremely important here. Loose connections create resistance, and resistance wastes energy as unwanted heat. The opposite end of the wire is connected to the alligator clip. This clip will eventually connect the tool to an external power source. Now that the electrical connection is prepared, it's time to build a proper handle. I have a long, round wooden handle that feels comfortable in the hand. The first step is drilling a hole all the way through the center. Wood shavings begin falling out immediately. The drill slowly advances through the entire length of the handle. Once the hole reaches the other side, I clean out the remaining sawdust. A clean passage will make it much easier to route the wire later. But there is still one more modification needed. Using a hacksaw, I carefully cut a shallow groove along the length of the handle. Not too deep, not too shallow. Just enough to hold the wire securely. If the groove is too shallow, the wire may pop out later. If it is too deep, the handle could become weaker than necessary. After a few minutes of cutting and cleaning, the handle is finally complete. Now everything starts coming together. The drill bit is inserted into the handle. The wire is routed through the groove. Then electrical tape is wrapped around the outside. Each layer helps hold the wire firmly against the wood. Slow wraps, even spacing, a cleaner appearance. At this point, the project already looks like some kind of custom-built tool, but we are still missing the most important component. Before we get there, I need one more electrical connection. I prepare another piece of wire and two alligator clips. Both ends are stripped carefully. The clips are attached and tightened. This will become the negative side of the power system later. By the way, where are you watching from today? And what old tools or materials have you successfully repurposed into something useful? Share your ideas in the comments because we can all learn from each other. Now comes my favorite part of the project, finding useful materials hidden inside things most people throw away. Here I have an old battery that no longer works. Most people would consider it completely useless, but inside is exactly what I need. Using pliers, I remove the outer shell. Then I peel away the remaining layers. The inner core slowly becomes visible. And finally, there it is, a carbon rod. This small component is surprisingly valuable. Carbon handles heat very well. It also conducts electricity. That combination makes it useful for projects involving electrical heating and arc generation. I wipe it clean and remove the remaining debris. Now the carbon rod is ready for the next step. One end needs to be sharpened. Instead of sanding by hand, I install the rod into a drill. As the drill spins, I press the carbon lightly against sandpaper. Fine black dust appears almost immediately. The rod slowly becomes more pointed, round at first, then sharper, until a fine tip begins to form. A pointed tip helps concentrate electrical energy into a much smaller area. That means higher temperatures and more focused performance later. Now it's time to connect everything together. I prepare a small electrical terminal block. After removing the brass connector from inside, I have exactly the part I need. One side grips the carbon rod. The other side will connect to the drill bit assembly. The carbon rod slides into position. The screw tightens down firmly. No movement, no wobble. The other end attaches directly to the bolt mounted on the drill bit. Another turn of the screwdriver, another inspection, and just like that, the entire assembly is finished. What started as a worn-out drill bit now looks like a compact handheld heating tool. But appearance means nothing without testing. So let's find out if it actually works. For power, I'm using a 12-volt battery. The positive connection attaches to the tool. The negative connection attaches to a separate wire with an alligator clip. Everything is checked one final time. The moment they touch, a bright spark appears. Instantly. Small but powerful. Now for a real test. I place two razor blades on a wooden board, one on top of the other. Then I bring the carbon tip down carefully. The moment contact is made, the temperature rises rapidly. Tiny sparks appear. The metal begins heating almost immediately. After a few seconds, I stop and inspect the result. The blades are firmly bonded together. That's a very promising sign, but I want to push it further. Next, I test it on a battery tab, similar to those used when assembling battery packs. The carbon tip concentrates heat exactly where it is needed. The metal softens, the joint forms, and after cooling, the connection feels surprisingly solid. Now let's try a small metal cup. This material is thicker and requires more heat. The tip touches the surface. A few sparks appear. The heat builds quickly. And once again, the tool performs better than I expected. At this point, it becomes clear that this project is much more than a simple experiment. A worn-out drill bit, a dead battery, a few scraps of wire, and a small connector. Most people would throw all of these things away without a second thought. But with a little creativity and some basic workshop skills, they can become something completely different. That's one of the things I enjoy most about projects like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.